Hey, what is up, ladies and gents? My name is Prashil, and welcome back to my channel, Synergy X Studios, the home of everything art and tech related. And boy, do I have a special treat for you guys today. We are going to be looking at the Apple Watch Series 6. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Alright, starting with the box. Alright, so guys, I didn't exactly keep track of the box I got. And let's be honest, it wasn't exactly the most overwhelming thing to begin with. I'm sure many of you know all about Apple's new claim to reduce their carbon footprint by reducing the size of their boxes, which is honestly just a lame way of inferring they want more money. Apple will never learn, will they? So, for those of you who are into that thing, here's just a quick clip of the box. And besides, that's the boring part anyway. But that's not what you're here for, right? You're here for this guy. Now, I've been using this watch for about 2 weeks now, and it is by far one of the best pieces of wearable tech that you could possibly get that's currently out this year. Let's get more into why it is. Now, to even be more petty about this whole box situation, this is actually a Series 3 Apple Watch box that I purchased many years ago, and as you can see, I've still kept it. And do you want to know why? Well, let me tell you. The unboxing experience was a hell of a lot more interesting than what you got with the new Apple, Series 6 watch. I mean, I don't know what it was, but it was just the whole experience and everything you got with it. It made it feel like a premium purchase. It made it feel, I guess, I don't know, important. And that's why I kind of kept it around. And, within just a couple weeks of owning the Series 6 watch, I've already lost the box. I have no idea how I managed to do that, but I guess I just never really cared for it that much. And so, this is a kind of clear indication. And, I guess this is what it's just come to these days. Everybody's cutting out everything, or well, maybe it's just Apple. But yeah, and this is just one of those things where it's just, when you spend a lot of money on a purchase like this, you want the entire experience to feel premium. And I guess opening the box with the Series 6 watch honestly just wasn't. And I guess a lot of people don't really care about that stuff, and I guess it's just, me nitpicking, but yeah, it is what it is. Now, as you can probably already tell, I opted for the blue version, which I guess is based off the new Pacific blue color offered with the new iPhone 12 Pro and the Pro Max series, and arguably one of the best color options for the new Apple lineup of products. You can see me rave on and on about it in my last video, which I will leave a link to below. Now, starting with the screen, I will say that right off the bat, you can tell that this screen is plenty sharp and reaches adequate levels of brightness, which means the display actually really excels in indoor and even outdoor usage with great viewing angles and no off-axis color change. And, this is to be expected with about a $700 watch. Alright, so I personally chose to go with the 40mm version, and the actual dimensions of this are 1.57 inches by 1.34 inches, and it weighs about 30.5 grams or about 1.07 ounces. Now, the display size itself is about 1.533 inches, about 39 millimeters, and the resolution is about 324 by 394 pixels, with a pixel density of 326 pixels per inch. Now, going into software, it is running watchOS 7.0 right out the box, which is upgradable to 7.1. Now, it uses Apple's S6 chipset, which has a 64 dual-core setup with a PowerVR GPU. Continuing on with the hardware, it's got an internal memory of about 32 gigabytes of non-expandable storage, of course, with 1 gigabyte of RAM. Now, it brings the latest Wi-Fi chips as well as Bluetooth 5.0. And in terms of battery, it has a 303.8 mAh battery, which Apple states will last up to 18 hours, although this was definitely not the case in my usage. Now, I don't even consider myself, a crazy hungry power user, but even I couldn't manage to get that kind of time. In fact, realistically, it was more like 10 or 12 hours. Now, I charged this watch about 2 days ago, and have only genuinely used it for about 8 to 9 hours. And if you look at the actual battery left, it's about 25%. And I don't know what this is, but I guess with the new hardware and that battery, it's just not cutting it. I've only got about 25% left, so it is quite far from Apple's, claims. Now, continuing on with the theme of hardware, along with the standard audio connections, NFC, brightness sensors, electrical heart sensors, and optical heart sensors, the new Apple Watch Series 6 comes with a blood oxygen sensor. So what is this blood oxygen sensor, and what is blood oxygen? Well, your blood oxygen level represents the percentage of oxygen your red blood cells carry from your lungs to the rest of your body. And so knowing how well your blood performs can help, I guess, give you good insight on the overall health of your body. And I guess this is what Apple was, I guess this was the only sensor they didn't have on the Series 5, so they've added it in here. And me personally, I don't really go on using any of the sensors, not even the heart rate monitor, but that's just me. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, I guess it's good to know that it's there. Now, in terms of the user experience, I've got to say, Apple's always been great at this. I think it goes without saying. I don't know how Apple's done it, but they've managed to figure out the software to a point where you can almost always get a fluid user experience. And even with, if you look at the phones, their phones don't have the greatest amount of RAM, but their software optimization kind of helps make up for it. Even phones, bleeding edge phones in the Android department have trouble keeping up with hardware that's almost, I'd say about a third more, or supposedly more efficient. So, there's no surprises here. The actual user experience here is very fluid. Yeah, like I said, it's just absolutely, it's no lag. Everything works just like it's supposed to. And I guess that's pretty much, there's nothing more to say. User experience has been pretty amazing. No problems here. Now, in terms of comfort, I gotta say, this is probably one of the best things about this watch. It doesn't feel, obtrusive. You can barely actually feel that it's on at times, which is really great when you're, going for a run or just doing day-to-day tasks. It honestly feels great. And, it just works. I think that's what Apple's always been great at, is just, kind of waiting out while all the other manufacturers kind of take, experimental leaps. Apple just kind of, even with their designs and their software, they just kind of wait it out and see, find out what works, and then they stick to it. And so, in terms of, comfort and just the design, honestly, you can't go wrong with this. It's probably, top 2 in terms of design, which I'd say is rivaled probably by, back in the day, the Moto 360s, they looked pretty nice. Not gonna lie. Now, to sum it all up, I gotta say, I really like the Apple Watch Series 6. I think that, in terms of just the comfort, the design, also just the kind of software that's been implemented, as well as the overall user experience, these are things Apple's always excelled at. It's nothing new. I think that, all of those things, they just come together and they really create something special. I mean, I think, this is the watch that, most people would want to get if they were in the Apple ecosystem. If not, I think this is the watch that would kind of make people think about entering the Apple ecosystem. And that's what Apple's always been good at, luring new customers into the Apple ecosystem. Because once they get a watch, or once they get a phone, they'll get the watch, and then they'll get the, the headphones, and then it'll just continue and spiral out of control. But yeah, going on to the user experience, the user experience was great. The actual design is really, really nice. It feels premium. It's great. The specs and everything, it's pretty, it's pretty stock standard here. It's got the incremental upgrades, so that's fine. The biggest downside, I would say, the biggest flaw this thing has is just the battery life. I don't know if they're going to be able to optimize that, but I think that's what Apple's going to have to really focus on with the Apple Watches. I think that's honestly just the biggest flaw. I was quite surprised, honestly. I didn't expect the battery life to be, this kind of limited, but that's what it is. And, it's my job to tell you, what's wrong with these, what's good and what's bad. And that's honestly the bad. Would I recommend this? Honestly, if you have a Series 5 watch, I probably wouldn't recommend this. Honestly, it'd be spending your money on this it would not get you anything that great. The Series 5 Apple Watch is really great in and of itself. I wouldn't recommend this as an upgrade because it really is only just an incremental upgrade, apart from, the sensor, the increased the blood oxygen sensor. So I wouldn't actually recommend this from the 5. I think anything below, honestly, even if you have a Series 4 watch, I wouldn't recommend this. Anything, Series 3 and below, I would say, consider it as an, as a decent upgrade. But yeah, if you've got a Series 5 or 4, I don't think it's worth the money. Especially with, them downsizing everything these days. That was pretty much my in-depth review. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gents. It's really been fun going through with this review. If you guys like this video, please remember to like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.